efforts were admirable, but ultimately pointless.
Phase 1 here. This is heavy hit. That's raid-wide damage across the board. As you can see.
Jesus Christ, he hasn't soaked up, has he?
No.
From the
That's
headset.
that really...
It's not what it looks like.
Holy shit, dude! Woo! Let's go, dude!
To the first official Pieces talk show, Peace of Mind. Today we're going to be covering a lot of content, covering just various aspects of the Race to World First environment and looking at raiding as a whole from BFA, and maybe even looking a little bit going forward into Shadowlands and things that we might be able to expect. Now, of course, it's not just going to be me here this evening. I'm going to be joined by plenty of wonderful guests that we will be kind of dropping into the night as we go along. And we'll kind of look at who's going to be on the show very, very soon. We're also going to be, wanted to mention that any donations that come in across the course of the stream will be helping, helping the streams in future and helping to get more episodes for you guys and just kind of help the whole production process that, the whole production team working really hard to get this up and running. That'll benefit them very much. So, of course, we also have giveaways. I know that many of you are still trying to get your long boys. I know I am, of course. I'm about 100,000 gold down, 4.9 million gold left to go. So I'm almost there. I've probably got enough time. And make sure that you check out and watch the full show for those giveaways, which will be kind of dropping in through the evening. But let's get ready to meet some of our guests, ladies and gentlemen, in just a moment. Alrighty, so welcoming in our list of guests here, we've got Bastu, we've got THD, and we've got Naguura. Now, I just wanted to kind of give Chad a chance to meet you lovely people. Bastu, do you just want to introduce yourself to the stream?
Hi, I'm Bastu. I'm an officer in Pieces and a raider as well, obviously. So yeah, it's pretty much me.
Pretty much you. Sounds great. THD, why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
I'm THD. I'm the Crab King, Warlock Legend, absolute true raider of Complexity Limit, World First, North American Guild, of course. And I just want a ripcord to be pulled,
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Legendary indeed. And Naguura, why don't you follow up and just let the people know a little bit about yourself as well?
So I'm Naguura. I'm a longtime WoW streamer. Used to be in lots of different guilds that go for World First. Now I'm a washed up raider, so, World the Hand Raider or thing. But I used to be pretty good at the game. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have the most World First titles of everyone today, so.
Oh,
Well, that's
good. I feel like you didn't get enough chance to flex yourself there compared to the rest. But
my one World First, I guess, is nothing compared to Naguura's. Many,
I'll have to call Kungan.
Yeah. Kungan is the only way we get out of this.
That's true. I thought it was Notes in September, my friend, and you're not starting off well with that one.
Yeah.
You had a chance to flaunt, and you ended up complimenting Naguura. You know what? It's okay. We'll let you off on that one. So we've seen across the course of BFA a massive kind of expanse into World First rating. We've seen ourselves go from bedroom rating to being live in a studio, various teams being able to execute that and kind of get out in front of the camera for these, 2-week-long events. So, what has that kind of been like for you guys as raiders, starting out from, or, transitioning into this new age of raiding? And I guess we'll throw that over to THD.
It's been pretty awesome. I know when we had our first event over in London with, Bastu. I saw Bastu over there. Nice guy. He's a bit weird, though. He has a lot of spreadsheets. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one. Sorry. Yeah, no sips on temper over here. But honestly, forgot about that one. But honestly, it was a great time having that first event. It was one of the best experiences ever, especially for the first event. And then obviously we had the event in Texas, which was, even better because we had I think we had 26 of our 31 raiders that were there. So it was overall insane. And obviously, the bedroom's great. It's got a lot of atmosphere. Great design in here, but it's better to be with everyone else. Sadly, coronavirus. So hopefully, maybe I don't know.
Prevented that a little bit, I think.
Yeah,
but I agree with you though, in that it was crazy. Obviously for us, right? We'd Crucible was our first tier that we even went for. The big numbers, and to do the Red Bull event the first tier after that is crazy. Meeting everyone and meeting the whole of Limit as well. It's great. It's not just about how good the raid was in the environment. It's being able to meet all the other competitors and stuff like that. It's really cool, and obviously the casters and Naguura.
Thank you, Bastu.
Well, that's a good
Bonus
follow-up.
points.
I mean, Naguura, what's it been like for you, casting these events? Have you been a little bit jealous, wanting to get involved and get raiding yourself? I'm sure you have been behind the scenes, but what's it like going from that casting perspective of these events?
So I'm actually super jealous to the guilds and the raiders who are participating for World First now. Because a long time ago when I was participating, we didn't even stream. Back then it was all secret, no streams, no events, no nothing. So, and that was always my dream. My dream was that there's sometimes going to be an event and prize money and whatever. But at some point I just gave up. I was this is never going to happen. And at some point I just stopped going for it. It's lost motivation. I'm just going to stream, And then everything started changing and we started streaming it and those huge events started happening. And I was there, oh man, I was super sad. Yeah. But I'm super happy anyway for all the people who are still participating, that these huge events are happening. And it's just so nice to see that this is such a big thing. I'm super, super happy for the guilds and for the raiders, because this must be an insane experience to all of a sudden get all of this recognition that you didn't get before, from having to keep it a secret and everything. And when it comes to the caster point of view, of course, it's not as exciting as participating myself, but it's still really cool to, when you're just an outside viewer, that you see all of these different kinds of perspectives now, when in the past, everything was so secretive, so you didn't really know exactly what was going on. You saw some guilds killing the bosses, but you didn't really know strategies or how they did it. So it was definitely a lot less exciting as a viewer. And now that you see everything, it's definitely a lot more exciting for everyone involved.
I think from the outside, before the first streaming event in Aldir, nobody outside of the raiding guilds knows how much actually goes into these events. And now obviously people stream Heroic Week and going into Mythic Week. You see of all the preparation with splits, and you also see the times where they don't stream, where they're just preparing for the raid. People didn't understand how much work actually went into these. And obviously, as you say, Naguura, it's great that people finally do see it, and people get recognition for it.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that actually lines me up perfectly for my favorite joke, and I'm going to give it to you, chat, because I know you're going to love it. And you mentioned how much preparation goes into these events. It's not just the on-screen stuff that we see with the actual raiding taking place. Like you say, it's the prep work beforehand. Even now, I'm sure you guys are prepping with, looking at various leveling routes and, what's the best pet battling pet, to get that extra edge on your opponents and whatnot. I'm sure you're desperately looking at those. And, there's plenty of hours that are going into spreadsheets to get all this set up. But I wanted to say, in terms of the islands, I mean, what is a complexity limit raider's favorite source? Thousand Island. Hey, you can keep that one, chat. I'll allow you to use that anytime that you'd like to. So yeah, I mean, it's been a big development in how we've progressed with raiding. How do you guys battle that preparation where you've got weeks of 16, 18, 20-hour days? I mean, do you even sleep? Do you go for the full 24s? THG, what do you think?
I mean, let's be honest, okay? 16, 18, 20, what is this, casual hour? I mean, like, honestly, I do that I'll tell you right now what I'm doing. I'm waiting to see if the Mad Merchant spawns. Like, that's literally what I do every day anyway. So, to me, to just spend 15 hours in islands, it's not really that big of a deal, because I'll do it anyway, and I'm online anyway. As long as I'm awake, I'm basically at my computer, so I'm going to do the islands anyway, even if it's the most grueling thing. If, for some reason, I have to spend 80 hours a week in Torghast, I'll spend 80 hours a week in Torghast. It's just the way it goes.
Don't say that.
You hear that, Blizzard?
You should not be promoting this. You should be doing quite the opposite.
No, I should be promoting this because it's something that I have an advantage over other human beings that is being slightly insane when it comes to doing repetitive tasks. Yes.
Yeah, THC manages to find a way to not put himself in a vegetative state when he farms 20 hours of islands a day. I was doing like 10 hours a day, and even that was like pushing me to the limit with all the other stuff going on. Like, I mean, maybe it's okay for THC, but I think for like 80% of the raiders, it really pushes. It happens like before Heroic Week, right? So you end up having like your mythic raid hours, like doing hardcore island farming before the raid is even opened. So, a lot of people, it's like a real struggle to not end up getting burnt out before the raid releases. Maybe not for THD, because he's a superhuman. But I think for most people, it really can be a struggle to be able to stay motivated through the boring times, just to get to the raid. Thoughts, THD?
Yeah, I mean, right. Like, I've basically just been farming and collecting mounts this whole time after N'Zoth. And if you remember back in the Red Bull event, the moment we killed the Jara, what did I do about an hour after? I started farming pearls, because I was like, you know what? Pearls, you farm one piece of 385 Azerite, and it was equivalent to what was it? 7 residum for a pearl?
Yeah. It's
that was just in case they didn't reset the residum. They did, so I was like, okay. Yeah. But I had it farmed just in case.
Thank God I spent all those hours farming just in case. Sorry, go ahead, Naguura.
I feel like inviting THD was a mistake, because now people who are watching this think like everyone, like all of the raiders are like, farming islands, no problem. I could do it all day.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, it doesn't matter what Blizzard puts into the game. If it needs to be done, you guys are going to get it done. And, I mean, is there a limit? Is there a point where you guys would just say that enough is enough? I can't take any more grind.
Well, so the problem with that is you always have to think, is someone else going to do it? If it's possible, it means someone will do it, right? And which means that if you don't do it, you feel guilty. You almost want, you want the AP grind. Say you want to get 100 traits for something, right? You want it to be completely undoable. If it's not completely undoable, it will be done. And everyone feels like they have to do it. That's the problem. So,
you should sign a contract between all of the World First guilds where you say, okay, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that, we're not going to do this. And then you just...
Yeah, and then the rank 10 guild just flies past you all as they put in all the effort. We didn't sign anything. That's not our problem.
I have a 100 neck.
A 100? Yeah, I think I saw that actually.
You do have a 100 neck.
So what was it like in the studio between you two? I mean, it was Eternal Palace, if I'm not mistaken. You guys were obviously Peace and Limit in the same studio. How was that? I mean, were you able to kind of, I mean, I remember being a kid and I'd be playing like GoldenEye with my brothers, and they'd be peeking on the on my screen, and they'd be looking up at the top screen. I have to say no peeking, and how do you know I was behind that corner? But what is that like in a studio environment? Is it a lot of sabotage, or pulled Ethernet cables, or how do you guys balance that?
I mean, in general, though, we were streaming. The only stuff that was like hidden is like spreadsheets, right? And talks were, well, I mean, THC can tell you, they would turn off VODs, right, at some point, or you deleted the VOD one night.
There was like one day of VODs that we deleted.
Yeah. So Limit pushed really far into Ashara, and obviously all the Europeans were asleep, except a few
casuals.
And so Limit deleted their VOD. No one knew what happened, and so an interesting point that came from that though is I was sitting on Ashara, and I was at the Red Bull event, obviously. So I synced my sleep pattern to Limit's. So my job was to basically watch Limit through the day, and then if they found anything out, like we'd feed that to the raiders who were playing on Ashara. So that's something that the streaming does, right? If you have people who are feeding you information from the other guilds, it adds like a whole new level of complexity, in my opinion, at least. But it's also like trying to make sure that you don't fall down the pit of, okay, the other guild is doing this, maybe it's better, changing what you're doing, and it screws things up. It's quite an interesting balance. But yeah, THC, the VOD deleter. Any words for that?
Hey, I mean, on the Zoff, we did turn off our stream for an hour, say we're going to bed, and then we did the secret face of the Zoff once, and we all went to the little whiteboard room that we have, and we all just like looked at it for like, and we're like, oh yeah, you probably have to use the neck to like click it because there's like a little gear icon that pops up on the bomb. And then the next day, as soon as we went into the heart chamber, we got to add to 1% health or something, and we were all talking about, oh yeah, we're gonna disarm this bomb, this bomb, this bomb. Everyone in chat was like, it's the first time you're here. You're just talking about disarming bombs and stuff. And we're like, yeah, man, it's fine. It's the first time.
I like to imagine that you guys were all like, oh, okay, yeah, Limit, we're going to bed. That's the end for us. And then you all go into one room together, and Piece of they're like, they're a really close raid team, aren't they? But no, that's great to hear. So we're actually going to be looking to get kind of moving on now into the casting side of things. So we are going to be taking a short little break. There should be a little video for you guys, a little teaser, and then we'll be checking things out with Bastu, Xyronic, and Naguura. So THD will be seeing you a little bit later.
Bye.
Thanks for kiting in 3, 2, 1. Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go!
Alrighty, welcome back, chat. Xyronic, good to have you here. How was seeing that? Not bringing back memories for you?
Oh yeah, that was a good time. Butterflies from seeing that still.
Definitely. And just to give chat a heads up, I mean, I'm sure you're very well known, but you just want to give chat a heads up of who you are and what you're about.
Yeah, I'm Xyronic. I've been around for pretty much forever. World First Raider, MDI caster. I do a bunch of stuff nowadays.
Just a bunch of stuff. What don't you do? And that's great to hear. So we're going to be talking just a little bit more so now about the casting side of things. Obviously, you guys are all like world-renowned casters. I know, Bastu, you've definitely been kind of on the desk yourself a little bit and featuring here and there. So what has it been like seeing the progression? I mean, obviously, we've had the arena scene with World of Warcraft being quite prevalent for a long time now, but now we're seeing this progression into Mythic Plus, which obviously came in via Legion. And then now we're seeing, as we've been mentioning, this world first raiding environment with the studio raiding, and we're seeing that kind of, in a sense, become an esport of itself. How has that been as casters adapting to this new environment and kind of switching up your style from, say, an afternoon of casting or an all-day event to a 2-week, 12-hour days and whatnot that you might be having to go through? Naguura, what's that been like for you?
Well, first, I didn't really know what to expect from casting a World First race because I've only done the MDI. And when I then started casting the World First event, I was like, okay, well, this is completely different. Because the World First event is more like streaming/hosting. Because you are feeling a lot, you're talking to the casters, you're not necessarily just staring at the screen and commentating on what's going on. Because, of course, when there's a guild wiping on the same boss 500 times, there's not always something interesting to talk about there. While at the MDI, I'm constantly staring at what the teams are doing and commentating on what's going on. So that's definitely a completely different style. And I definitely think that I am better at the commenting the MDI style, because hosting is something that you're doing really well, Psy. And I think there's lots of people who are like natural at hosting and starting conversations and getting going, but I'm really more into commentating. So first I felt really uncomfortable doing the World First, but the other casters were really good at it, and they kind of like eased me into it. And at some point I was comfortable doing that one as well.
Now, Naguura, I did say it's no simp September. Please stop simping me with those compliments, as kind as they might be. Xyronic, what's that been like for you? Is it a similar case, or?
I mean, I'm pretty comfortable doing both, but yeah, like Naguura said, it's a big difference. Like in the MD, like she said, you're pretty much constantly trying to figure out, make sure you're keeping the audience like in line with what's going on, whereas the World First race casting is a lot more of a fill style of casting, where you're kind of just shooting the shit with your other casters, and then they get to some new phase, or they get back to the phase that they're having issue with, and you have to bring everyone into that and say, okay, we're back to this final phase where they're having this issue and this issue. Let's see how they're going to solve it. It's just it's an interesting dichotomy of casting. They're pretty much completely different.
I think it's actually really interesting watching people who cast over the race to World First Win, because they're obviously trying to keep up with the tactics. And like trying to watch, it's not actually that easy unless you have voice comms to tell exactly what a guild is doing and what they're trying to change. So watching the casters, trying to interpret the data that they're getting, I mean, to me at least, it's really interesting. Like when I was watching the complexity limit race, like Dratnos and Thdlock, trying to interpret everything, I mean, it's like an added bonus, more content for the race to World First. So I think it's great.
I actually thought, because obviously when you're not progressing on a boss yourself, even if you have been like the best or World First raider for 10 years, if you don't actually progress a boss yourself and you don't hear voice comms, you just don't know what's going on, right? You can try to theorize and come up with something, and like maybe this is how it works, but you don't really know, right? So I'm sure that us casters have had completely stupid ideas where the raiders were like saying, oh my god, what are you saying? Like, this is not at all how it works. But then maybe once in a while we actually come up with something that actually is how it works, and that's what they were trying to do. So we interpreted it like perfectly, and that's cool in my opinion. Like, I really like just looking at what the guilds are doing and really try to figure out, so what is their strategy here? Like, what are they trying to do? I think that's a really cool kind of like a puzzle, which is cool in my opinion.
Yep.
Well, to tack on to that, the great thing about casting is that the only people that can actually criticize your casting are the people that you're casting over, and they're almost never watching it live. So you pretty much have a free pass to say whatever you want without ever sounding stupid. It's great.
Yep.
I mean, how do you guys like do you guys go and speak to the teams? You go speak to the players? Do you kind of get a little bit of an insight and try and kind of, you see a boss, you maybe see day 2, they're progressing the same boss still. Do you kind of go in the morning and say, hey, have you guys kind of revised your plan a little bit? What are you thinking with this? Have you thought about doing that? And do you kind of go and speak to the players? And do you maybe have a guy that you like slip a $20 under the table and he'll tell you what's going on? Or do you have to just do a lot of guesswork?
I think it's definitely a lot of guessing, because at least the event that I casted, I'm not sure if, at least I think that the events are trying to improve their communication to the casters. But it's really hard because, of course, those guilds are raiding like 16 hours a day and then they go to bed. Like, they use all of their time that they have for their progression. So obviously they won't have a lot of time to like sit down with the casters and explain them exactly what they're doing and whatnot, right? So maybe you have people who are like on the bench right now who can talk to the casters a little bit, but it's really hard to make sure the casters are up to date with all of the strategies at all times, especially even if there is voice comms going on. Like even, for example, Max was streaming voice comms, but as a caster, you can't listen to voice comms while you're talking to the other casters. Otherwise, you're just overwhelmed with the information, right? So it's definitely a little bit difficult to make sure that all of this information is being given to the casters in that moment.
And just to kind of jump on to that, sorry, Bastu, is that something that you think will progress as time goes by? Do you think as this kind of becomes, obviously this is quite a new experience for a lot of the, production teams and casting and players. Do you think as we progress, I mean, we've seen this progression into like the 21st man, if you will. Do you think we could see a progression into, a more immediate update as casters? Do you think there could be some kind of progression there?
I think so, for sure. I also talked to the guilds who are doing those kind of events. I said, hey guys, just as a feedback, for next time, maybe try to get a better system so casters can communicate with the raiders who are in the bench right now. Like maybe set up a Discord channel or something like that. Because when you're sitting on a desk, you have a lot of time where you could be chatting on like a laptop or something or an iPad with somebody on Discord. So they could, like, if you really have a question that needs to be answered right now, then having somebody who answers those questions would be really important for the future, in my opinion.
Maybe a 22nd man.
Exactly.
Nope.
Okay.
Someone just there to feed info. I mean, we in London, at least, we had one of the UK casters, Snods. After every night when we finished raid, he would come over to our section and like he'd ask, like, what's going on? Like, is there any inside info you can give me? Like, stuff like this. I mean, obviously it's the casters, they want to know as much info as possible. And as Naguura says, like as the events progress, I'm sure that, the people who watch it hope that the casters are able to get more of an insight from the raiders. And like something like a Discord channel is like the perfect solution to it. Sorry for interrupting, Sarah.
I also think at the same time, the guilds aren't really going to want to give all that extra information because even though we are streaming the world first race, it's not like you want to if you have any sort of an advantage, you don't want to hand over your entire strat on a silver platter. You can watch somebody do a strat, but still not understand exactly how they're doing it or what nuances or intricacies there are to the strategy. So having a caster literally explain everything is not ideal for like an actual race event.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's so bad though if you keep it away from more of the nitty gritty things. If you're trying to explain the general stuff. I mean, obviously,
sure.
While you were on, there's off someone had asked about the secret chamber. I wouldn't have expected the first guild to give a proper response. But trying to explain like why someone was swapped in or something, that's the kind of thing that I can see, like the casters having insight over. But yeah, you're definitely right though that we all of us guilds, we don't exactly want to give away our strats at all. So yeah, it's like
it'd be
trying
great
to find
if
a medium.
if as things are kind of happening, like you say, like you see in a football game, as a sub is coming on the pitch, you'll have the commentators explaining, kind of maybe what's going on, who, like what the reason for the change and whatnot, and how that might be good or bad and whatever. So maybe that could be one of those live update things that could, like we say, with the 22nd man, with that communication open, it's something that could definitely be explored more. But yeah, I wanted to kind of actually kind of then lead on from that and going into kind of what are we expecting like going forward? Do you think that this is it? Like this is maybe the pinnacle of world first rating in this kind of setup? Or do you think that we could be seeing like this refinement, like we say, the 21st man, getting that potential 22nd man? What do you think, Bastu? Like, are we there? Are we at it?
I think everything is going to keep changing. I don't think like the current. I mean, just look at from when the first raid was streamed in Ordir, when it was just one guild. I think it will non-stop change until, like forever. My hope personally is that, we get a bit more Blizzard involvement so that, the viewer experience can become a bit better. Maybe some god cams or something. But
Ooh, that'd be great. Spectator cam.
Yeah. Imagine,
That'd be
like how
fantastic.
you have, like I'm sure a lot of people watch League of Legends. How you see the entrance into some of their games. They have the cam that goes all the way around the map and stuff. Like having something like that from Blizzard is like, to me at least, that's the next big step for a viewer experience. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things that can improve and will improve as time goes on. So yeah.
So the 23rd ban is the Blizzard employee. Okay, so we're racking them up, aren't we?
It's going to be a huge stadium as well, Staples Center, which is like huge, filling a whole arena.
I want Ion himself.
I'm looking at Twitch chat here. JB's referencing the famous Rush Belinda strat where you have a 40-man raid roster and you just run 2 12-hour round-the-clock comps doing progression 24 hours. That's a good one. We're almost there. I think we have a 33-man roster right now, so we're looking for 7 more people on limit.
Yeah.
Have you actually talked about that, like internally, like about the possibility of doing that at all?
That's a giant meme. It'll never happen.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe we should make it happen. Chat, what do you think? Push for it.
I mean, there are some small, like you could have a team that goes in and tests stuff at night, but it's not you couldn't really have 2 teams that are pushing the same level of progression, right? As I said, you can have someone
theoretically, right? Let's say you have 20 people who are progressing Nisov, and then you switch one person out. So that person always learns
one
to
an
fight.
hour.
And then
just one at a time,
Yeah,
just like one and then the next, and then
So what happens to the tanks?
through.
So they just do 8-hour shifts that just roll on for
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about tanking in raids is that it's most often the most interesting and exciting role. So they're probably just eager to keep going. I'm sure they don't even want the break, so they should be fine. So I mean, we just to kind of finish up here in terms of the casting. I'm sure many at home are probably excited and eager to get involved in some of these events. They probably want to know. I mean, I've only recently just started with my own casting journey, so I definitely feel where chat might be at as well. What advice would you give to somebody who is looking to get into casting? Xyronic, if you want to kind of share your wealth of information there.
I mean, casting is still such a weird thing to me because I got into it from a weird section. But I can say the best thing to do in order to get into casting is just to record yourself talking over something. A clip of your favorite streamer or even yourself just doing a dungeon, talk over it. And then the worst part is having to listen to yourself to point out the mistakes you're making when you're talking, because everyone does it, but everyone hates listening to their own voice, myself included. So you have to listen to yourself to understand where your faults are. And then, once you get comfortable doing that, maybe ship that off to some people. Keystone Masters is always looking for casters for their dungeon events. And then if that goes well, you can always send something to Blizzard.
Yep.
There you go. Naguura, what do you think? Much of the same?
Definitely the same, yeah. Because some other people say you should maybe start with streaming to get comfortable in front of a camera. But I don't think like that at all. I think streaming is completely different to casting. And even though I've been a streamer for years, I feel like that didn't prepare me at all to casting. When I was casting the MDI, I was sitting there in this desk. Everything was completely different. There's this studio and the cameras are new and the lights are going on. And it's like what's happening? So I definitely think what Psybearslat is the best thing you can do to prepare. And yeah, like listening to your own voice is definitely something that can be bad. At least I don't like listening to myself, and I'm sure lots of other people don't either. But that really is the best way on improving your casting and really hearing what you're doing wrong. Because sometimes you repeat this filler word that you don't even notice yourself. And then when you listen to yourself, it's like, oh, I'm saying like a lot. Maybe I should stop saying like,
Yeah, I say alrighty
Absolutely.
all the time. Absolutely, alrighty. Bastu, anything for you on that one?
I mean, I'm not really much of a caster myself. I've done a brief stint on the Red Bull panel, but I think the wonderful casters, Xyronic and Naguura, have given you more than good enough answers. So, starting off September, very well. yeah.
Oh, well played. And chat, we are going to be heading, I think, to. Are we potentially looking to line up our first giveaway of the evening? I think we are going to be looking to do just that in a moment. So for any of you broody boys up there, definitely stay tuned. And Naguura, that's going to be it from you on the show this evening. So thank you very much for being here. It's been great to have your insight. And I wish you a great and successful September. No Sim September, apologies. So thank you again.
Thanks for having me, and have a great rest of your show, guys.
No thanks for me. All right.
All of you, of course.
Oh, Jesus. Oh no, Bastu. Sorry, Bastu. You are also
Bastu's
not coming
Bastu.
back. Sorry, buddy.
I already simping.
What it is you're up top here with me. I just was gonna reach over there. I thought you had my safety blanket, so apologies. Bastu, thanks for being here as well. Anything you want to say to chat before you go?
That's all right. Thanks for watching. Good luck on your long boys.
I need one.
Yeah.
Same. Accepting gold. Oh, hello, chat. It's me still. I'm still here. Oh my goodness, the raffle's in chat. Yep, just I guess that's the button there. So we're going to be doing the giveaway, chat. If you just type !raffle, you should be entered up. And we'll be calling the winner in just a couple of minutes. I don't think it's gonna take too long. There you can see our beautiful broody boy. If you've never seen it before, it is going away in pre-patch, which is imminent. It could be within the next couple of weeks. So if you don't win a giveaway here today, then make sure that you definitely type rigged in chat. We want to hear from you. If you think the giveaway is rigged, make sure you let us know. But for now, just type !raffle. And yeah, like I say, I haven't been anywhere close to getting this. I was supposed to start grinding it, but unfortunately I'm too lazy for that, so I just ended up depleting keys instead for a few weeks. I don't know about you at home. I'm enjoying the music. I think we've got a couple minutes in this one. And we have another one as well, actually. We are giving away a second brutosaur. That'll be later on in the show, probably after the final segment this evening. So make sure if you don't win this giveaway, you can still win the next giveaway. And I'm sure you at home definitely will. I'm sure you definitely will win. Am I allowed to enter? Wait, hold on. Let me try raffling in chat. Take a little look. I've entered the giveaway. Sounds great. Perfect. Can you enter multiple times? Make sure you spam it just in case. Just in case you didn't get in the first 8 times. And of course, if you're thinking, well, Pieces, you're doing so much for me. You're doing such a great job. I really appreciate what you're doing here today. What can I do to support you? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can sub to the channel. You can donate to the channel. Any donations will help in the production of future episodes. Hopefully you've been enjoying the show so far. And anything that we're doing here today, we are looking to hopefully carry on forward into future episodes. So if there are things that you want to see, you should definitely tweet us those ideas on Twitter. If you've got anything that you're really eager to kind of have us take a pass at, or guess that you want to see, maybe, who knows, definitely look to do that. But like I say, the donations definitely help to support the channel. Definitely make sure you do !raffle in chat. Shouldn't be too much longer. So it is going to be closing up momentarily, chat. Chevelle, thank you very much for the big raid, my friend. Make sure that your viewers are typing !raffle in chat, ready to go, because it's going to be ending shortly. Everyone has already entered. Well, there you go. The list one says it. Everyone's already entered. Oh, we have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if there's a drum roll sound. There is no drum roll sound. That'll do for you. I'll be calling out the winner in just a moment. Make sure you preemptively type rigged in chat. There you go. Exclamation mark rigged. Perfect. I think we'll be hearing the winner in just a moment. Oh! The winner is Crazy Archer. That is Crazy Archer with a K. You are the winner, my friend. I think someone will be in contact with you, so make sure you check your Twitch notifications, your Twitch messages, because someone will be at your door knocking for you to claim that. Oh, Crazy Archer, I see you in chat. There you are. There you go. A smile on the face. Everyone else, make sure you type rigged. Though don't get too riled, because we are going to be jumping over to our next segment in a moment, and we want to make sure that we're warming our guests with nice, warm, open smiles. So don't get too angry. Alrighty, and we'll be jumping into that in just a second. See you shortly, chat. All right, welcome back, chat. After a short intermission, we are now welcomed by THD, who we have seen earlier on in the show. Xyronic is still here with us, and we have a new guest, BJ. BJ, welcome in. Do you want to give chat just a hello, a heads up of who you are and what you're about, my friend?
Hi, my name's Bjartuur, or BJ for short. I'm a mage. Playing from NA, so rounding out the NA crew on this segment. Recently made the jump over to EU, raiding with pieces now. Yeah, just having a good time. If I'm here to give any perspective on this, it's more from like, I guess, from the mindset of everybody in chat, because I haven't done the world first race, whereas these other two gentlemen have. So I'm just learning about all the prep work that goes into it, and you know, it's new to me. It's old to them.
Have you gotten used to the metric system yet? Are you good? You comfortable
still
there?
Struggle. It's a real struggle every day.
Yeah, I still
the
struggle.
The spell date is still in yards though, so I'm golden.
Yeah, did you almost miss today because you're on a different date line, or you're all good? You make sure you're here in time.
Whenever daylight savings comes around, it's on a different time flip, NA and EU. So I've messed up a day because of that one before.
There you go. You got excuses available just in case. So yeah, we're looking now just to kind of discuss more so around Shadowlands and a lot of the preparation that's going to be going into Shadowlands. What we can kind of expect looking forward into future World First races, and what we're expecting with the preparation. I know the expansion as a whole is looking a little bit calmer in some areas with the things required, no AP grind. There are still going to be other areas of grind required. THD, what are you kind of expecting going into Shadowlands? Like, are you prepping for, for locks? Or are you sticking with the one? What are you thinking?
Okay, so like looking at like my Covenant abilities, like from a conceptual standpoint, no damage, right? You would realistically only have 2 warlocks, maybe 3, from a conceptual standpoint, because like one of them is like completely useless, so that's great. Covenant system just going awesome so far already, and besides that, I think most of like the Shadowlands prep stuff is really like, since there's like no AP and stuff that you have to grind, most of it is mostly just going to be, I think week 1 you're going to spend probably like, I would say, well around probably like a day or 1 or 2 days worth of in-game time in Torghast. That's going to be like most of the week 1 is Torghast. And like obviously you have your Mythic Zeros and all that type of stuff for gear, but most of week 1's going to be Torghast, and then after that you'll unlock like most of like the stuff that then you could just do like your little weekly Torghast run, which is easy. Most of the time spent in the week 1 of Torghast is just getting to the highest level to unlock the weekly stuff, and that's most of the prep work in the first week. But I don't think you'll need 4 warlocks. I think realistically probably 2, but that's like still in the until we see like the finishing touches, we don't really know. But 2, maybe 3 warlocks is what I assume.
Yeah. I mean, I know myself. I've got it great. I'm gonna have 0 warlocks, so I'm living the dream over here. But yeah, I mean, potentially having to level multiple specs, but I don't think that's going to be the case for obviously the majority of players out there. I don't think anyone needs to get too scared and think, oh well, if THD is doing it, then that means I have to. So don't worry, chat. You only need the 1 warlock. I'm sure you'll be okay with just that. But yeah, I mean, what's it going to be like? I mean, are you going to be twiddling your thumbs? Are you going to have all the spare time in the world? Or are you going to find other areas to, where are you going to try and grab this extra advantage? I know you maybe don't want to go into too much detail, but like you say, is it just going to be a lot of island running, BJ? Or do you think, do you think there are other areas that we might be able to kind of jump ahead? I mean, there's the legendary farming, but apart from that, I think we're looking pretty calm this expansion.
There's the legendary farming, but you're limited on how much soul ash you can get. So, I mean, realistically, you're not going to get more than 1 for your main spec for prog, which I'm not sure, like, THD, when you're talking about 2 warlocks, if you're talking about 2 because of the covenants, 2 because of the legendaries, 2 because of, like, just the specs, like, 1 covenant is better for a different spec, maybe. So maybe, like... It
was because of...
Could you elaborate on that?
Like maybe like 2 covenants, because one of the covenants is pretty good, the other one, but one of them is just like by far insanely good, but like maybe just another one for a different covenant if need be, but I don't know how much of a thing that'll be. And then like maybe a little bit of a different mix of legendaries if need be. But I suspect that, like, if the values that they have on the beta right now, if you have those values go live, you should have, because you're probably not going to like, have higher item level legendaries. You're just going to have a lot of lower item level legendaries, right? Just for more variety of power. You're just going to have like 3, maybe 4 legendaries going into Mythic at current values on the beta, which is 1 a week.
The trade-off is 10 item levels in a legendary for 1 legendary, right? If I'm not mistaken. Something like that?
Yeah.
So it'd be very unlikely for you to want to just use all of your soul ash on upgrading 1 legendary every single week, rather than just having the flexibility of swapping legendaries. Unless there's 1 for sure that you're going to use on Sire and Athreus, and you're not worried about any of the other bosses.
So,
yeah, I mean
the
that's
grind
the plan.
for...
Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead, BJ. Go ahead, my friend.
I was just going to say, the grind for us isn't going to be any less. It's just going to be different. Whereas, like, previously it was islands, where you're just spamming for AP. Like, it's not like the lack of islands is going to make that time grind go away. Like, it's just going to be reformed into something else, which is like making multiple characters so you can have multiple covenants of that, or however many classes like Limit versus us are preparing, right? Like the time grind is going to go somewhere. It's not just gone.
Yeah. And how has it been with the raid testing so far? I mean, is it looking pretty nice and like nicely in shape, Xyronic? What your thoughts been so far in terms of the raid, and any big bosses that you're excited for, or what do you think is like a first tier raid?
I think outside of the first day of testing, where they literally had to restart the servers like right beforehand, all of the testing this time around has been pretty smooth for the most part, and most of the bosses didn't have any major issues with them. And as far as a first raid goes, this one has been pretty good. There's a pretty nice difference in a lot of the bosses. It's not just like cookie cutter bosses for a first raid tier, so I'm pretty happy with it.
Shriekwing, hardest mythic boss, Kappa?
True.
They keep that boss the way it is, man. If I see a pug group roll in there, that pug ain't gonna kill Shriekwing until like week 10. I'll tell you what. That thing is harder than Sire and Athreus.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of people saying things like, "Oh, it's a pretty tame like first boss on heroic and normal, and like it's a bit boring in parts here and there, and like it's okay as a first boss." But then I know when mythic testing came through, everyone just went, "Yep, nope, this is the hardest boss it's ever kind of been." So that'll be exciting to see. If I know Blizzard has been a fan of kind of making that first boss now a little bit of a gatekeep so that I guess it's for that pugging experience is to make it a little, test the pug a little bit on the first boss, and then, you get onto something like Skitra and you can kind of just have a little bit of a break as a well-earned kind of congratulations. But I mean, are we going to be seeing, obviously the Covenants are big. They're a big new feature, I guess, in the game. And we're seeing, with the existence of the AoE cap and whatnot, are we going to see differences in how this raid tier ends up playing out with this? I mean, you guys have mentioned you might have a couple of a class and whatnot, but how is that actually going to be in terms of like setting that up from a raid perspective? How are you going to look to go about dealing with an AoE cap where you have specs that might have really good utility, but not so much on AoE on certain fights or and whatnot? What do you think, BJ?
I mean, I think it's just going to go the way of class stacking, right? Like, if you run into a boss that's a wall for a specific type of like DPS, whether it's spread AoE or multi-dotting or whatever, like you're just going to end up class stacking, like because we have that luxury. Now, for anybody else that's only, rating where they're asking their players to prep one class, one spec, I mean, they're not going to have that, and it's going to be more of a struggle for them. But like for us, like I can imagine that's probably the solution for most barriers.
So do you say, okay, well, I'm going to take four warlocks, or do you say I'm going to take one warlock, one elemental shaman, one boomkin, and how are you going to manage to split your time with that? Or do you just think you're going to have as a raid kind of one player is just going to bring all of one, if you will?
Only four.
Xyronic, you're I'm saying four as an example. I don't know. Are you taking 9 or something? Or?
I mean, I don't know what an AoE cap is. my spells hit everything, so I'm chilling over here.
Yeah, I'm trying. We're only getting one. We're only getting 1 week. So the game is releasing on the 27th. We then have Heroic coming out, I believe, on the 10th, and then Mythic coming out on the 17th.
Yeah, you got a 2-week build up to Heroic, and then a 1 week Heroic until Mythic.
But didn't we have? I could be wrong here, but didn't we have 2 weeks of? Do we have 2 weeks of Heroic, or 2 weeks before Heroic was released, or am I totally off base there? In Ny'alotha.
In Ny'alotha, we do stuff, but that's not.
It was 1 week.
That's not the usual.
It was
though.
1 week before Heroic, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
true.
okay.
It's been 2 weeks for everything else this expansion, including the first raid tier.
So it's slightly less time.
Release is 3, I think. Yeah. Historically, expansion release is 3 to get ready.
Yes, I think
Pretty
it was
sure it was
that
2
in
this
Legion
expansion,
and BFA it was 3. So they're cutting it down a little bit, but there's not that much that needs to be done, so it's okay, right? It's not like you have to grind islands, right? So it's not like there's this infinite looming grind, as far as we can tell. There's no infinite grind hidden in the shadows that we do where we need 3 weeks, right? Most of it can be done in basically the first week, which, like I said, the first week is probably just going to be doing Torghast, and even then Torghast is limited, right? Now, the only reason you have to do Torghast is to get to layer 8 on multiple characters. Yeah, my camera's just doing weird things, but also to layer 8 on multiple characters is kind of annoying. The Torghast unlock is account wide, but to getting to layer 8, which basically you have to get to layer 8, you have to do layer 1. To get to layer 2, you have to do layer 1. 3, you have to finish 2. 4, you have to finish 3. It's a long process. It takes I would say probably 20 to 30 minutes for each run
per floor.
So per 6th floor run for each layer. So you need to do 8 of those. So I'll probably take 4 hours if you don't die or anything, and it's all of them are 30-minute runs for one character, and then you have that weekly run unlocked. So first week's a lot of Torghast.
Yeah, so the first week is going to be quite intense, but after that, like you say, it's going to get slightly easier as you're able to kind of jump in where you left off. You unlock those kind of checkpoints, so we could see it kind of alleviating some of the strain as time goes by, perhaps. And in terms of, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but what do we think in terms of World First raiding events? Do we see ourselves in a studio this time around, or Is it, obviously there's been a lot of struggles going on with COVID, but do you think we'll potentially be seeing anything in the studio at all?
Where's my mask? Oh,
yeah,
shit.
grab the mask. Is that the official THD mask? Where can I get one of those? What do you think, Sarah?
Oof. Well, so here's the thing, right? So for us, I think we actually can pull one off. I don't know any specifics. I don't know if we're doing one yet, but I imagine if we wanted to do a studio production, there are several people in the guild that could just drive to Dallas. Like, I live in Houston. I'm 3 hours away. I could definitely drive up to Dallas. But that remains to be seen. Like, I don't know if somebody like THD who lives, in the corner of the country down in Florida could get there easily enough. We'd have to figure out the logistics. It's definitely possible, but I don't know.
Yeah, BJ, what do you think on the side of pieces? Do you think they'll be opting for anything?
I don't know yet. Like, there's certainly nothing that has been announced, right? And as far as like me attending one, I'm fairly certain the EU travel ban is still in effect on U.S. residents, so I don't think I'm going to be making it over there. So definitely it'll be more difficult, right? Because there's country barriers between everybody in EU. And I think they can traverse most of them pretty easily. But again, it would be kind of like if you're close enough to drive, similar to Limit hosting in Dallas. Like whoever's close enough to make it there easily can potentially do it. Everybody else raiding from home.
Yeah, I mean, you could always, as the NA kind of occupant, you could always drive to Dallas and scope things out for him, couldn't you? You could be on the NA schedule, couldn't you? You're already set up for it. Let me just
yoink BDG's spot right out of there.
And what do you think as well, actually, BJ, like going into this raid, is there things that you kind of expectations that you've got in terms of the new raid, and is there anything that you're kind of looking forward to progressing with pieces for the first time?
Expectations for the raid? No. Expectations for pieces, yeah, because going from where I was at, which was like World 35-ish, like US 9th, to this, it's a much more collaborative effort, and there's way more people in the guild that are all like posting spreadsheets or ideas every day, like talking about class changes or talking about covenant changes or stuff, like where the information is so much more abundant and there's so many more people invested at one time to reaching that goal. And that is something that makes me happy. Like, it's just incredibly nice to be a part of. So that expectation is there, and that I'm excited for. But for the raid itself, like, it's a raid, not, nothing too different.
Yeah, I guess the event itself has kind of grown into, it's not about, I mean, like the raid is the easy part. It's everything surrounding that, isn't it? It's the preparation, it's the group work, it's the the coordination between the teams. So, is there anything that you're particularly like bringing to the table, BJ? Is there like a talent that you specifically kind of bringing with that, or are you just kind of jumping in and you're just gonna press your buttons and you're just gonna slam away?
On beta, I've been flexing my healer muscles pretty good.
Okay.
Repping the priest. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, is priest good?
I see a little doubt. I see some doubt.
Are you simping for the warlocks?
I don't know about fire mages healing, honestly.
I'm sure they've got a covenant that is good for healing. It's
well, he is a firefighter in real life.
That arcane healing though. No. That arcane healing though. Mana shield.
Has there been any kind of I don't know, maybe lighthearted smack talk between you guys? Have you guys kind of been prepping at all and kind of, trying to lead each other off into, the wrong path? I mean, I've been seeing some alliance plays. I've seen some alliance raiding. Is there any kind of manipulation going on at all in the scene? Or are you guys kind of keeping it nice and fair and even? What do you think, THD?
The alliance raiding, been doing some raid testing as alliance. I've seen some other guilds doing some raid testing as alliance. Some of the pieces and echo people doing raid testing as alliance. Maybe it's more of like a manipulation tactic to showcase hey, sometimes if you just have a lot of bleeds and you just push a button and get rid of them. Might be pretty powerful.
You're saying to go
it
Kyrian, right?
depends.
Yeah, you're going Kyrian,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
On the walk?
go Kyrian. Yeah, sure, go
Yeah,
Kyrian. Yeah, great.
Or you can just have
Yeah.
your raid leader sell his car so you can all transfer alliance. That's always fun.
Yeah, then you can go
Yeah.
Kyrian, but it's on a 2-minute cooldown, but you can also be a Necrolord. It's a pretty good one, actually. You just have two of
I
them.
think I'm going to be saving my my alliance shifting until the Night Elf Heritage armor comes out, and then I think I'm going to do it for the aesthetic. What do we think? Any aesthetic gamers out there? Any non hardcore gamers out there in chat? What do you think? I think everyone's just spamming the raffle. Everyone's definitely excited for that brutosaur. They're definitely waiting for that one. But that's great to hear. I mean, we might be seeing some alliance rating then potentially this tier. Though we'll have to see. I mean, you say
I
a lot
hope
about
not.
the bleed effect. No, you hope not. How? Why is that?
Because Alliance are cowards.
Well, that is a
All right.
Ooh.
that is a big hit. I don't know. I don't know if I'm with you on that one, but I'll take it.
It's just facts,
I
man.
don't know,
It's
like-
facts.
It just depends how much of a wall the bosses are, right? Like if it's that bad, if they've tuned the raid that bad that the bleeds are so hard that you can't kill the boss, or at least you struggle on it heavily without going dwarf. I mean, they fucked up.
Yeah, yeah.
That's about
like
it.
it's,
I think
You heard of Kill Jaden?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they've been nerfing the bleeds, to be honest, right? Like, on Huntsman, they changed it from a bleed to like a shadow damage dot on you, so that's obviously something. And then, they've been nerfing the bleeds on a couple of other bosses and moving damage elsewhere. So I think they're aware of it, obviously, after like the last session where we were all in the raid as Alliance. I think that's like a big red flag to them, like, okay, maybe we should, tone down the bleed damage a bit so that it's not as powerful and maybe not have everything tied into the bleed. So hopefully they're looking into that so it's not that big of a problem. Because, no one wants to just go over to Alliance, kill all the bosses, then immediately swap back court. That doesn't look good for anyone.
Yeah.
yeah,
What
definitely.
was the meme on KJ? It was the internal testing team did so good that they just tuned it up a couple percent. We just got
Well, I was
they're
referencing
not
that everyone would horde for Goblin Jump, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm unaware of the Kill Jaden meme. What's the meme with that? Was it just undoable
Literally
or what?
every single Alliance guild ended up swapping horde just so they could have Goblin Jump to make sure they could kill the fight.
Oh,
So-
right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I remember the coding. Yeah. Hmm. I forgot for a second, but that makes sense. I was thinking, who was I thinking of? I was thinking of in the new raid. I don't know. That's all good anyway. But yeah, so looking at that then, I mean, we might be seeing some Alliance raiding potentially this season, which could be interesting, but we might end up giving the Alliance players hope that actually everyone's returning to them, which they might not be. But what do you think then? What is you guys' favorite boss so far in the raid? BJ, what are you looking at? What's got you kind of tantalized?
Denathrius. Easy.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
Oh,
it looks
come
the most
on.
fun. What?
Using the last
It's
boss
the-
is always a
It was
cheat.
the most
Yeah,
fun
that's
on
a-
testing.
Just
All
the
right, fine.
last boss. Come
All right,
on.
do we
ignoring
want to
ignoring the last
do we
boss.
want to like eliminate that from the conversation? Then
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
get
yeah.
into
No,
that
no
boss.
last boss.
Yeah. No last boss. Dude.
Depending on how you want to pronounce it, then Artificer or Artificer, Zymos.
Artificer?
Are you talking about Zyro?
Artificer
Artificer,
yeah.
Xyronic is the boss's name.
Yeah, boss Xyronic.
Boss Ironic.
That's a good one.
You finally got your in-game NPC, dude.
Yeah, I did. It's sick. And I'm gonna be farming everyone for months because that boss is actually kind of annoying.
They should implement if you kill someone, you get their item. You get to pick up. You get to loot their corpse. Yeah. So okay. So Artificer, for you, BJ. What about you, Xyronic? What are you thinking?
I'm
Denathrius, huh?
thinking probably Generals. I think it's going to be a really interesting fight,
Mm-hmm.
especially based off of how they tune the bleeds. There's a lot of like nuance to how you have to deal with the ads on the fight as well, so it could actually end up being a pretty interesting fight.
Mm-hmm. And THG?
I like Artificer, but I'm going to have to go with only on Mythic Sludge Fist, okay? Mythic Sludge Fist. That's going to be a great fight. It's a fight where you really learn to trust your friends, okay? If you can't trust your friends, you're going to have a bad time, okay? It's a great encounter for trust and teamwork. You get chained with someone else. He's your friend. He breaks the chain, you both die. It's great. Someone misses a soak, everyone dies. It's a fight. I love it.
I mean, have you seen, actually touching on that, have you seen this progression with Blizzard designing these raids? Obviously, weak auras and these things are becoming a lot more prevalent in raiding now, and they remove, in a sense, can remove a lot of the difficulty when you have a lot better of a warning system of the things that are about to happen and about to occur. Do you think it's a constant evolution with Blizzard trying to outsmart these add-ons, or do you think the add-ons are trying to just catch up with what Blizzard is trying to do? What do you think, Zara?
It's not necessarily the add-ons trying to outsmart Blizzard. It's just making sure you have the easiest way of dealing with something, right? If there's something that you can code that makes a fight easier for you, I mean, you just do it. I mean, that's why we added weak aura authors to our crew last year. It's just helps you do things better.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I've noticed the change in, I guess, like THD, you're saying if somebody doesn't soak, then everybody dies. I mean, these one-shot or these more one-shot based mechanics where you have to get everybody to nail the fight. And what it seems to come down to is just making sure that, you speak to the teams during World First Race events and stuff, and you say, what's going on? And they say, oh, well, we're just messing up. We just need to do a clean fight. We just need to everyone get it right this time, kind of thing. Do you think that's more so the way that rating is going, or?
I think I don't think so. I think it's mostly there's okay bosses. I think bosses that are purely pass fails like Zanesh are really bad. When I said if someone misses a soak and wipes, I don't think you wipe if you miss a soak, but you take a lot of extra damage to a point where it's yeah, that's not good, but it's not a wipe per se.
Yeah.
So Zanesh is obviously a really bad thing of a pass fail where only 3 people in the raid get the mechanic, and then if they mess up, everyone dies. Versus I think Sludge Fist is more everyone, all 20, have to do the mechanics, and if they don't do the mechanics, all 20, and you're linked with someone the whole time, so you have to kind of think and be in each other's mind. I think that's a cool way to do it. I don't think having it be just 3 people and all the other 17 are basically oh, let's see if the 3 people mess up, and if they mess up, well, oh man, if everyone's doing it, I think it's a lot better. I personally am a fan though of pass fail, and messing up kills the whole group. That's kind of the way I like it.
Well, you are a warlock, after all. You are quite demonic.
THD, I heard you got banned from soccer.
Well,
he got banned from soccer in the first half of our heroic Xanash testing.
Is it really a ban from soccer if you're thinking 500 steps ahead, so you never have to kick the ball ever again?
Yeah, if you mess up, then no one's ever going to trust you with it again, right? That's what it is.
Exactly.
You can just DPS, right? Better for the logs, so you're all set. Right. Well, guys, that has been a great little kind of insight into the inner minds of World First Rating and what we can expect going forward. Hopefully, we might see some studio events in Shadowlands. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, thank you very much, BJ. Thank you very much, Xyronic and THD, for being here today. It's been great to have you guys on the show. Any last little thoughts before you go on excitement for Shadowlands? You guys, can I get a thumbs up? Are you guys looking forward to this raid tier? Is this going to be a good one? Can we expect good things?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Pull that ripcord.
Also, I expect good things this week.
Okay.
Oh, I expect many good things on Wednesday.
Okay.
Oh,
you got a good weekly patch.
Yep.
Lots of information, lots of good changes for people.
We're in the end game, so there's got to be some good things on the horizon, I'm sure, as we're almost done with pre-patches upon us, and release isn't too far away. So yeah, hopefully some good things I'm not sure exactly what Xyronic and THD are teasing at, but I'm sure we can expect some good things. And I think we have another brutosaur giveaway coming up shortly, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you type an ! Raffle in the chat to get involved in that if you want to win yourself a brutosaur. Could be your last chance to get one before pre-patch. Alrighty. And thanks again, BJ, Xyronic, and THD. You guys have a great night. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you shortly.
Thank you.
Hello, chat, and I'm back with another giveaway for you. This is a great time where we spend some quality time together and figure out how to win ourselves a brutosaur. What do you think, huh? Type ! Raffle in chat to be involved in the giveaway. It will just be a couple of minutes and we'll have our winner. Crazy Archer was our previous winner earlier on in the stream, so you know it's definitely not rigged. We are giving these away to real people. Absolutely, positively. And as I mentioned earlier on in the stream, any donations and subs that are coming through to the stream definitely help Pieces with the production of these events and helps us secure more events for the future. We could be seeing, who knows, a Mythic Plus event, a pet battle event, who knows? A little talk show. So if there are guests that you want to see, let us know on Twitter, or if there are events that you want to see us do, the little talk shows that you want us to have, then let us know on Twitter. That would be fantastic. You can just add us on the Pieces Twitter account. So very much appreciated to you. And yeah, just type ! Raffle in the chat to get involved. Make sure you spam it. Type it 9 times just in case. And this, if you are just tuning in recently and you haven't been able to catch the whole show and you're wanting to kind of stay updated with what we were talking about today, just make sure that you check out the podcast. We will be uploading this, I believe, in a podcast version, I think, through YouTube. So make sure that you check that out if you haven't seen the whole show today. And you should be able to check out all the juicy little details. Look at that Bruto go. Alrighty, and 30 seconds on this. 30 more seconds before we are calling our winner. So make sure you type ! Raffle one last time. And of course, I hope it's been a great show for you guys. I hope that you've really enjoyed yourselves today. Like I say, hopefully we're looking to do more of these. I believe we have an upcoming show on the 15th of September, which will be the same time. So that's 2 weeks time from now. It'll be the same time, so 9 p.m. CEST. So you can find out what your local time zone will be for that. And I believe that episode, production, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that is a PvP episode. So coming off the back of AWC, we're going to be checking out a lot of the PvP elements in BFA and Shadowlands. You know, how's corruption been for things? How's that been? So we'll have some great guests on, and I'm sure if you stay tuned, then you'll be able to find out who those great players are going to be. And we have a winner for the giveaway, chat. Exciting news. The winner is I am Neos, I believe, if I said that correctly. I'm Neos. Let me see if I can see him in chat. Are they in chat? Can I see him in chat? For everyone else that didn't win, make sure you type rigged in chat just in case. Just in case. If you didn't win, clearly it's rigged. That's the rules. I'm Neos is our winner for the giveaway. I can't see them personally in chat, but I'm sure they're there. We will be messaging you. We will be saying, we'll be signing into your DMs and giving you a heads up that you've won. You've won a Brutosaur, so enjoy. But if anyone wants to gift me a Brutosaur, you still can. Psybearslat on Draenor Horde EU. You can definitely give me a Brutosaur. Alrighty. Well, we've had a wonderful evening. I want to give another thank you to all my guests here today. We had Bastu, Xyronic, THD, Naguura, and BJ. I don't believe I was missing anyone there in that lineup. But thank you to everyone that's been on the show. Chat, you guys have been amazing. I've definitely been enjoying reading your comments as part of the show. And to thank you to the production team as well. We've done an awesome job. All these transitions have been seamless, and all the graphics and everything, and just the organization. This has been fantastic. I've definitely enjoyed myself. I hope that you guys have had a good time with the show. And like I say, September 15th, we are doing, at the same time, 9 p.m. CEST, we will be doing a PvP episode. So if you have any questions and comments for that show, make sure that you hit us up on Twitter and look out for any updates on that. And yeah, thank you all for today. And I hope that you enjoyed the brutosaur giveaway. Or the 2 giveaways that we had. And of course, thank you to our sponsors as well. Thank you to Wowhead, who has been helping with this event. If you haven't been able to check out the article, you can check that on Wowhead, of course. So thank you very much. I believe sorry, chat just got to confirm something. But yes, thank you to Wowhead for helping along with this event. Like I say, thank you for today. And we'll be seeing you shortly in the next one on the 15th of September. See you, chat.